27th of May, Wednesday. Good morning from Europe, good afternoon, good evening guys, wherever you are. Piotr here, this is Light Forex Global YouTube channel, and this is pre-European Open, pre-London Open. End of the flow dominates, so that's what we have to be aware of. Anyway, a little bit of connection between the real world and the indices we've seen yesterday, but during the Asian hours looks like everything is back to normal, meaning one is the real world, the second is a US indices world. Anyway, let's start with something positive. If you remember yesterday, we discussed setup when it comes to the we discussed the setup when it comes to the S&P, right? And if you remember, here we have guys entry. Here we have the consolidation, pre-open consolidation when it comes to S&P, right? And we were discussing short setup, that we want to see the break of that consolidation. We want to see retest of the 50% or levels close to the open, right? And then we wanna trade down towards 2085, 2080, almost everything as discussed. So congratulations, guys, to all of you who are following. Now, the thing is that we already got back, we recovered almost in full. But if you remember those two blue lines over here, that's the huge supply, right? So we tested the first one yesterday, and because today, you know, some kind of the window dressing towards the end of the month could be in place. So those 3065 based on my chart also could be in play. Well, would be great to see today another upper shadow and the daily close, for example, below the yesterday low from the bear's perspective, right? The optimism is huge based on what we have on the chart, right? Based on what we have on the chart, it almost like nothing really has happened, right? But the economy been closed for quite a long time, and you know, well, we will see. Based on the chart only, we are testing the supply. When it comes to the demand, I think, right? I think that the first is around 2,900, taking into the consideration that was the consolidation. Okay, so something around 2,000, 2,900. The only thing I have to adjust here is the weekly open. Okay, so that's when it comes to the indices. We are going to switch to FX right now, so please stay with me, guys. All right, let's start with the euro dollar. And if you remember, we were discussing that well, still inside the range, right? And yesterday, at least for now, looks like it was the scary candle to invite some buyers, but already we have some kind of the rejection. We've seen that rejection toward the end of the session yesterday, right? So dollar didn't give up fully yet, okay? I added a little bit of the short yesterday. We will see how it's going to play out. You know, T+2, you have to remember today, I'm sorry guys, we have to remember T+2 today, especially the London ticks and then end of the US session are gonna be very interesting based on the settlement, right? So if someone wants to settle something on the spot, it has to do today, right? So we will see. Anyway, the things related to the previous rallies, and especially if you are going to see here, when it comes to that range, previously we had a bigger candle, right? Rising candle. Here we had a candle day before the rejection. Here we have similar big candle. So I would be careful trying to judge that already dollar is giving up. Well, we've seen the dollar weakness yesterday, but dollar is trying to recover. So because it's a range, okay, because it's a range, before adding more to the short side, I want to see some kind of the stop count, or at least finishing the business over here. If you don't know what is finishing the business, you have to watch all the educational videos I recorded, alright? So that's how I see the things when it comes to the daily chart, euro dollar. Of course, daily close above 110 or two daily consecutive daily close above 110, especially 110.40 might change the situation, but it didn't happen yet, right? So let's switch lower. Okay, and here we go. So we retest the yellow supply, right? We've discussed this yellow supply. So yellow supply being tested, it could be some kind of the over under. Okay, over under. So it's gonna be very interesting where we are going to end up, because we've seen the stop count here, right? Could be good to see some stop count to the upside. The only thing I might, you know, I missed a bit could be that was the stop count already. High of the day, higher high towards the end of the day, and rejection, right? So maybe that was the case. Anyway, the thing is that we should see some buyers around, and the first buyers probably could be here around the weekly open, because that's the weekly open, and higher we might see few buyers around these levels over here. So when it comes to the buyers around current level 109.50, then lower down towards 109.30.25, and then levels close to 108.90, right? Sellers around 110.40 when it comes to the euro dollar. Over to the next one is a dollar JPY. Nothing is going on here based on this daily chart. Very narrow consolidation, and the things are gonna be interesting how we are going to play out the fixes, right? Upcoming fixings, London, and end of the session in US, New York one. Well, when it comes to the Japan, there was the information during the Tokyo hours, and that the Japan total bond issuance this fiscal year is set to rise to above 200 trillion. Geez, 200 trillion, come on. Anyway, when we are discussing the Asia, it's worth to mention that the South Korea sees the fresh spike in coronavirus cases, outbreak in the e-commerce warehouse. But anyway, that didn't stop US indices, by the way, right? So nothing extraordinary when it comes to the dollar yen. Very narrow range. And well, that's interesting because, you know, that was the surprise for me, bounce back and break above 107, right? But looks like lack of continuation, and well, we haven't seen 108.25 yet. We discussed this level, so I would like to see how it's going to play. Of course, 106.80 and the levels we discussed as a crucial line in the sand and the bottom of that breakout candle. So something between 106.80 and let's say 106.50. Okay. But as you can see, very narrow consolidation going on. Cable, there was a continuation of the move to the upside. Probably we are going to see some kind of the attempt to continue higher, right? Because we finish around 24.360. And if you remember our analysis we did yesterday, 24.50 could be, and even 25. We didn't go through the levels. We haven't seen the pullback, so there was no chance to try to add into that or buy, right? Because I'm still negative, but intraday perspective I may try to trade long side, but didn't happen, right? So if you remember what we discussed, that's the range, right? So mid of that range, 24.50 could be tested. For now we almost did 1, 2, 1 upper shadow, so maybe fresh spike higher later during the day, and then rejection after the fix. Well, to be honest with you, I'm not gonna be surprised if we are going to see the spike just around the one of the fix. So intraday, where are the buyers? The buyers are around 22.70, 22.50, all right? And then what we discussed yesterday, and I still like it, around 22.20, 22. Well, but we are 100 pips higher, okay, for now. The rally on the cable could be because of what is going on the euro pound, and here, if you remember, we hit supply and we have some kind of the profit taking since then, right? Now we almost hit yesterday first possible demand level, all right? Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, check the lower shadow, and this is the possible demand zone we discussed quite a few times, and the next one is mid of the range. Also we were discussing this stuff. So looking for levels close to either 88.40 and 87.50. Sellers, because we seen the break, sellers in that range, so closer to 89.50. And well, pound might do well because of profit taking on the euro pound, right? Last two. The first one is Aussie dollar. Okay, finally we hit supply we discussed based on the higher time frames, right? So finally it did materialize yesterday. That's the weekly, and we've seen a little bit of the rejection, upper shadow on a daily, so stop count, but the close below very important level. And intraday, that's nice, very nice setup at the very important level or zone from the higher time frame. So I added into that into the short when it comes to the Aussie dollar. Here is also important what is going on with this Chinese yuan, and there you go, huge breakthrough 7.15. all right, so one line gone. Okay, one line go. We have two more to go, right? We have possible over under, right, around 18.25, and we have 7.20. So that's very interesting, all right? And because of what is going on with oil, of course nothing has happened. Everyone needs oil. We have plenty of flights, whatever. Anyway, Canadian is breaking, USCAD is breaking lower. Now it's very interesting. I'm going to monitor very carefully what is going on here, because we broke through very significant level, right? We closed below 138. Okay, that's another significant level. But guys, the truth is, that's the possible demand, right? We had Riley, base, Riley, right? So, well, we were testing top of the demand, right? So we broke through. It could be just stop hand. That's why I'm going to watch it very, very carefully. Of course, if we are going to break through 37, the situation might change short and medium term when it comes to the USDCAD. I'm not so sure what we are going to see here, but well, oil is higher. Even with the information, from the EEA, where I've seen that. Just one second. That because of the coronavirus, you know, the investments inside the energy sector is gonna be on a record low level. But that's what I've seen. So that's the USDCAD. So guys, trying to summarize, indices recovered during the pre-market trading, recovered whatever they lost during the cash market, where I think cash is more important, but you know, these days no one knows. The dollar didn't give up yet. There is a little bit of the pullback when it comes to the euro dollar, pound dollar during the Asian hours. Also, Australian dollar is reversing a bit. The only pair where the looks like a dollar is in a big trouble is USD CAD. So I added a little bit euro dollar short and Australian dollar short. We will see. I'm going to get back to you with another update around the New York session. Guys, it was the pleasure to be with you. Don't be trapped, guys, and have a great London session. Thank you, take care, and goodbye.